Hello, my friends. Dustin Davis here with everything you need to know about the Chiefs. Kansas City season ended in a moment no one saw coming. The organization that built a dynasty around one quarterback now confronts a reality where that foundation has cracked. Patrick Mahomes' torn ACL doesn't just alter the immediate playoff picture, it exposes every structural weakness the Chiefs have masked through sheer talent and improvisation. Front office decisions that seemed minor months ago now carry franchise-altering weight. The path forward demands answers the Chiefs may not be ready to give. How do you protect a cornerstone when the blueprint itself needs redesigning? Kansas City's next moves will reveal whether this setback becomes a detour or a turning point that redefines what this roster can become. Let's check out all the latest news in Kansas City. First, friends, can I ask for a small favor? If you're liking what we do, click the like button to show your support. It truly means a lot. Thanks again. Kansas City's defeat to the Los Angeles Chargers in Week 15 ended with Patrick Mahomes leaving the field injured. The severity and exact nature of the injury weren't immediately clear, but early signs pointed toward an extended absence for the two-time MVP. That single moment shifted the entire conversation around the Chiefs. The backup stepping into this role is Gardner Minshew, a veteran journeyman who briefly appeared against the Chargers after Mahomes exited. Minshew's NFL path started in 1919 when Jacksonville selected him in the 6th round following a breakout season at Washington State under Mike Leach. Over 7 seasons, he's made stops in Philadelphia, Indianapolis, and Las Vegas, building a reputation as someone who can manage an offense without being mistaken for a franchise cornerstone. No one expects Minshew to replicate what Mahomes does. The question is whether he can keep the offense functional enough to give the Chiefs a chance in their remaining games, starting with a Week 26 home matchup against Tennessee. Minshew has produced respectable performances throughout his career, moments where he's shown he can execute a game plan and avoid catastrophic mistakes. The Chiefs system is built around Mahomes' unique ability to create off-schedule. Minshew operates differently. He's a processor who works within structure, relying on timing and rhythm rather than improvisational brilliance. The coaching staff will need to simplify concepts, lean on shorter throws, and use the run game to keep defensive fronts honest. Whether that's enough to keep Kansas City competitive depends on how quickly the offense adjusts and how well the defense limits opponents' scoring. Minshew's role is temporary, but the stakes extend beyond wins and losses. How he performs will inform offseason decisions about backup quarterback investment and roster construction. If he struggles badly, it reinforces the need for a higher caliber insurance policy. If he holds steady, it buys the front office flexibility to allocate resources elsewhere while Mahomes recovers. The Chiefs entered this stretch expecting to prepare for a playoff push. Instead, they're recalibrating in real time, trying to salvage something from a season that suddenly looks very different. Minshew's time under center may be brief, but it will clarify exactly how much this offense depends on one person, and whether that's sustainable moving forward. Beyond the backup plan, Kansas City's front office is already mapping out long-term protection strategies for their star. Patrick Mahomes' torn ACL adds a layer of urgency to what's already a franchise inflection point. The injury changes how Kansas City approaches every offseason decision. Mahomes faces lengthy rehabilitation, and the start of the 2026 season remains uncertain. That timeline forces the front office to think beyond immediate fixes and consider how to protect their investment long-term. Fans can begin looking toward free agency and the draft, where the Chiefs hold the 11th overall pick. CBS Sports' Mike Renner released an updated mock draft Sunday night, projecting Kansas City to select Miami offensive lineman Francis Mauigoa with that 11th selection. Renner's reasoning was direct. Given how this season ended for the Chiefs, the front office may very well want to make sure Patrick Mahomes is never in the firing line behind a UDFA offensive tackle. Mauigoa would pair with Trey Smith on the right side to create one brutish double-team combo. Mauigoa ranked as Renner's top offensive line prospect and 8th overall player in the draft class. The Miami product just won the ACC's 2025 Jacobs Blocking Trophy, an award determined by head coaches and defensive coordinators, recognizing the conference's most outstanding blocker. His combination of size, technique, and competitive temperament fits exactly what Kansas City needs. The Chiefs dealt with injuries across the roster all season, but the offensive line's instability became a recurring problem that put Mahomes in vulnerable positions. Pairing Mauigoa with Trey Smith would give the right side of the line a physical identity it's lacked, creating cleaner pockets for Mahomes and more consistent run lanes for whoever carries the ball. The Chiefs can't afford another season where their quarterback faces constant pressure from preventable breakdowns. Drafting Mauigoa represents a philosophical shift, investing high-value draft capital into the infrastructure that surrounds Mahomes, rather than expecting him to overcome structural deficiencies through talent alone. It's the kind of decision that signals a front office learning from painful lessons. Another area demanding attention, the ground game that's been absent when it mattered most. Bill Barnwell recently identified 4 running backs likely available in free agency who could address Kansas City's clearest weakness. Each player offers a distinct skill set that could stabilize an offense that's relied too heavily on Mahomes improvising his way out of difficult down-and-distance situations. Breece Hall, the explosive between-the-tackle star. Hall arrived in the NFL as a first-round talent from Iowa State, bringing rare burst and dependable receiving ability. When healthy, he delivers game-altering acceleration and contact balance, capable of finishing runs inside while exploiting zone stretch concepts. Kansas City's reported interest at the trade deadline signals league-wide recognition that Hall changes game plans. His fit in Andy Reid's system is obvious. Hall's second-level acceleration and immediate receiving threat would exploit lighter fronts created by Mahomes drawing coverage. Early down conversions would increase, forcing opponents to allocate additional defenders to the run and opening cleaner passing windows. Kansas City's blocking scheme, when healthy, creates the decisive seams Hall needs to strike quickly. The market complicates things. Should Hall reach free agency, expect premium offers, multi-year guarantees, and top-tier annual money for the position. True 3-down backs who impact rushing and receiving are scarce, and teams with cap space regularly bid into the low to mid double digits annually. Kansas City would need to weigh that price against other 2026 priorities. Hall's presence would increase early down success, reduce obvious passing situations, enhance play-action effectiveness, and shorten third-down distances. He'd lower reliance on Mahomes' improvisation and decrease high-pressure volume in critical moments. The risks, injury history, and contract demands that could limit moves to strengthen the offensive line and receiving depth. Rico Dowdle, the bargain with surprising upside. Dowdle has quietly proven himself an efficient runner who produces with volume. After time in Dallas and Carolina, he posted several standout 2025 performances demonstrating contact balance, zone instincts, and reliable hands. He profiles as a third down and complementary starter at a fraction of the cost star-tier backs command. Dowdle's receiving skill and pass protection competence align cleanly with the Mahomes-era scheme demanding multi-dimensional backs. He won't be a bell cow, but as a complementary starter, he stabilizes the offense without consuming premium cap space. His decisive one-cut style helps convert short yardage early downs and sustain drives, the marginal gains Kansas City desperately needs. Expect a short-term, modestly priced contract in the low millions, a low-risk signing delivering immediate role-specific production and depth. Market indicators place Dowdle's value well below elite backs, making him an attractive option if Kansas City wants to spread resources across multiple positions. Dowdle offers a dependable receiving outlet, improves third-down conversion rates, and provides trustworthy blitz pickup. That reduces Mahomes' exposure to repeated long-yardage situations and improves game script management. The limitation, he's not a true every-down bell cow, so Kansas City would still need complementary pieces for heavy workloads or short-yardage situations. Javonte Williams, the downhill grinder and workhorse option. Williams built his reputation on physical, between-the-tackles running that blends contact balance, leg drive, and short-area burst. After early career injuries, he resurfaced demonstrating effectiveness as an early-down grinder and goal-line weapon with improving receiving ability. Teams seeking 3-down upgrades have monitored his situation closely. Williams' capacity to churn third and short yards would force defenses to respect interior runs, cleaning up play-action timing and relieving short yardage pressure on Mahomes. He'd be particularly valuable in clock control scenarios where Kansas City struggled to sustain possession. His inside finishing style complements occasional outside zone looks by keeping defenses honest between the tackles. Williams projects as a mid to high-end starting running back in 2026, not priced like the game's elite, but deserving starter money from teams seeking a physical interior runner. Expect a multi-year deal with reasonable average annual value aligned to market trends for productive three-down backs. Williams supplies improved 2-minute and clock management execution, stronger red zone production, and fewer long third-down scenarios, yielding cleaner down and distance splits. The concern? Durability questions given past injuries mean Kansas City would need thorough medical review and guarantee structures reflecting that risk. Travis Etienne, shiftiness and explosive pass-game weapon. Etienne arrived from Clemson as a first-round talent and developed into a dual-threat runner combining open-field elusiveness, route versatility, and efficient receiving. He consistently creates after the catch on screens and swing passes, executes designed outside runs with burst, and demonstrates competence in pass protection. Etienne would broaden Kansas City's schemed pass game from the backfield, more yak threats on short targets, expanded RPO possibilities, and vertical sweep options. Paired with Mahomes' quick reads, Etienne's after-the-catch ability could deliver chunk plays without excessive risk, making him a plug-and-play third-down receiving back. Etienne should command starter-level money, but perhaps less than absolute elite bell cows. If Jacksonville allows him to test free agency, he becomes a targeted acquisition for teams prioritizing receiving upside. Expect a multi-year contract with mid-range AAV for starting running backs. Etienne improves quick game efficiency, increases explosive yak plays, and lowers sack and pressure risk by serving as a reliable outlet against blitzes. He whitens play-calling flexibility and improves third-down conversion options. The limitation? He's not a classic between-the-tackle stumper, so Kansas City would still need complementary personnel for heavy workloads or short-yardage situations. The short list gives the Chiefs a concise shopping list. Now, the front office must evaluate which impact profile they prefer and what they're willing to pay. While the offense gets rebuilt, uncertainty surrounds one of the team's most iconic veterans. Travis Kelce's situation is less clear. The 36-year-old didn't address media Sunday and hasn't publicly clarified his plans since early in the campaign, when Kansas City still looked poised for a deep playoff run. If Kelce has played his last meaningful snaps for the Chiefs, 3 games remain on the schedule, though starters may be held out. General Manager Brett Veach and the front office would need contingency plans to replace one of the franchise's all-time talents. The Athletic's Ted Nguyen has already floated a potential successor, Kyle Pitts, the athletic tight end with a rare blend of size and pass-catching ability. Nguyen suggested, with Mahomes hurt, it should be an even bigger sign that they need to take the load off him in the future. On a side note, if Kelce retires, it would be cool to replace him with Kyle Pitts, who could be a free agent if the Atlanta Falcons don't franchise tag him. Tight end depth might not rank as Kansas City's most pressing offseason concern. The run game and an injury-prone offensive line loom larger, but the idea of Pitts in red would be tantalizing. Pitts, 25, could reach free agency if Atlanta declines to use the franchise tag. A former first-round selection, he's posted his best season since 2021, recording 73 receptions for 797 yards and 4 touchdowns across 14 games. He delivered a standout performance versus Tampa Bay with 166 yards and 3 touchdowns, his first 100-yard game in years, highlighting his ceiling when fully integrated into an offense. The fit isn't automatic. Pitts operates differently than Kelce, who mastered route running from the inline position and built chemistry with Mahomes through years of repetition. Pitts functions more as a receiving weapon who creates mismatches through athletic advantages rather than savvy. Whether he'd seamlessly integrate into Mahomes' system and whether Kansas City would pursue him aggressively in free agency remains speculative. The decisions Kansas City makes in the coming months will determine whether this moment becomes a brief setback or the beginning of a longer rebuild. Do you think Travis Kelce has one more season left in him, or is it time for the future Hall of Famer to walk away on his own terms? If he does retire, would Kyle Pitts be the right replacement, or should Kansas City look elsewhere for their next tight end? Leave your analysis in the comments. Don't forget, like and subscribe to join our fan base and stay up to date. Let's grow stronger with Chiefs. Until next time.